Welcome to Tutorial 2 on Drawing the 3D Kitchen. Just want to make a footnote here. You may hear some noise in the background. I have some siding work going on at my house here, and so we're all going to have to sort of put up with that. I'll try to work around it as much as I can. All right, let's take a look at our template. Make sure that you have your template downloaded. You should also have the plans downloaded and open and be able to toggle back and forth so that you can get this thing drawn. First thing I'd like to do is take a look at the layers and classes that we have set up. As far as layers go, we have 4 layers. They're pretty straightforward. Model, that's where we're going to start our drawing. We have our title block, of course, and then plan and elevation. These are 2 layers that we will take from the model, and we will set up a plan view and set up an elevation view. So fairly straightforward. They're 1/2 inch equals 1 foot, except for the title block. All right, let's go to classes. And classes we have set up. I'm not going to go through all of these. I just want to do a couple of them here so that you can see what I've done, because we haven't worked a whole lot with saving textures in classes, but that's what we're going to do. That's going to make this fairly easy to render this thing. So let's look at cabinet case. So that's the cabinet box, and I have it use at creation. I also have, probably more importantly, down here at the bottom, the use texture at creation. Now these boxes here are for walls. These are applying textures to walls. We're not going to do that. We've got a section here for roofs and other, and that's what we're doing. We're going to be applying textures to our cabinets, and we're going to use this bamboo texture. And if you just click in here, you can see that I've loaded a bunch of different textures for you, and essentially we'll be using several different ones, but right now we're just going to use this carbonized bamboo for our cabinets. Okay, let's look at one more. The countertop. Again, coming over here to other, we have let's change this. I think we'll go with stone. Finally, I want you to notice over here in the texture column that we have all these N's and then a Y. That Y says, yes, we have a texture, one texture being used here. Now, again, we can have more than one texture set up. For example, on a wall, we can have the face of the wall, the back of the wall, the top of the wall, the bottom of the wall, the edges of the wall. We can add textures to all of those. So that's what that's all about. So that's what the Y is. Okay. All right. Well, I think we're ready to get started. So make sure that you have your template open. You want to be on the model layer, and you want to be on the plan exterior walls. I'm going to draw this myself as we go along here. You already know how to use the wall tool, so if you will, just go ahead and get your walls drawn. In regards to the walls that are vertical, one on the right, I would make it about 3 feet. It's kind of arbitrary. It doesn't matter. You don't want it sticking out too far, because when you show it in a 3D view, it's going to be in your way. So just kind of make it about 3 feet. And then the other wall, just make it long enough so that we can put that door in. Okay, let's get started, and I'll get right back with you after I get my walls drawn. Before we get started, make sure that you are in top plan. Otherwise you'll get a 3D wall that you won't recognize. So top plan, you're on the layer of model, and you're on the class of plan exterior wall. Okay, well, let's get started. All right, I have my walls drawn. One thing I wanted you to notice is that I use the right control line mode to draw. I like to draw from left to right, so that put me on the interior side of the wall and allowed me to dimension the walls as they are in the plan that I was that you're given. The other thing is that this is an interior wall right here. I didn't draw it at a different thickness. I went ahead and used the exterior wall class, and for the purposes of this drawing, it doesn't really matter. But remember that this kitchen template that I've given you is something that you're going to be able to use time and time again for kitchen after kitchen. So in those cases, you will have interior walls. They will be a different thickness, and so you can act accordingly. The other thing that I should probably say is that I have my logo down here in the title block. You'll want to change that at some point, so that you have your own logo in there. And what I would do is just go to your template and copy it, and then just paste it in there. Probably the best way to do that. All right, so now we're going to deal with the window and the door. And I have already formatted them the way that I want them. And I'm going to give you the, right now, we'll just go through this. The window is 48 inches wide by 36 inches in height. That's pretty much all you have to set there, except you do want to set it as a biparting casement. In other words, a casement window with two sashes in it. All right, so that's number one. The other thing I'd like you to do is go down to Jam and Sash. Take a look at that. I think everything there is probably the same. And sill, let's take a look at that. Set your sill up as I have. And we don't have a transom, of course. Let's go to trim. The trim width is 3 inches by 3/4 of an inch thick on the interior side. And we're going to include a stool, which is a board basically that goes underneath the sill. And on the exterior side, we'll keep it the same. We'll go 3 inches, 1.25 inches in thickness, more like a brick mold. And include trim under the sill. All right. And let's go to, let's see, I guess that's about it. That's all we really need to do there, except that let's go down to classes and set up your classes as you see it here. These two classes down at the bottom are classes that are brought in with the window from Vectorworks. You can tell because it has a capital letter at the beginning of it. That's why it's so important for us to use lowercase for our classes so that we can differentiate them. Now you can change this so that it brings its own class in. All right. So I think that's about it. We don't have any glazing we don't have a transom, so no problem there. Let's click OK. Before we do that, there's one other thing. Muntins. The muntin bars we want to set up as a prairie style, and the bar depths are 3/8 and 3/8, and the bar offset is 4 inches. That's this distance right here. So we're 4 inches from the bottom and 4 inches from the top. We don't have shutters. All right. Now let's do our door. I'm going to double click on it so that you can see all of the settings there. As far as the general size, it comes in default as a 36 by 80 door. So that should be the same. It's just a simple square door with a simple swing. Everything there is pretty straightforward. Let's go down to Jam. 3/4 of an inch, quarter, so on and so forth. That's good. The leaf, this is your panel size on this panel door. Yes, so right here, this tells us, this is where we set up what type of door we want, whether we want just a solid door, a glass door, a panel door, or a custom door. I just chose a panel door. And it's 1 3/4 inches thick. top rail 4 inches, left and right is 4, and the bottom is 6, which is very typical. We have one vertical panel. We could divide it up into 2 if we wanted to, but let's just keep it simple. And as far as a threshold, since this is an exterior door, we want to include a threshold. And let's see, overall depth, that would be, let's make it 8 inches. Let's see, let's make it 10 inches. And everything else there is fine. All right, so click OK. And now you should see that we have a threshold. Beautiful. All right. Trim, let's go 3 inches by 3 inches like we did on our window. And let's go down to classes and set up. Actually, these are all classes that came in with the door. So we'll just leave that as is for now. All right, so now you should be all set with your door and your window. I'm going to stop here and we will move on to tutorial number 3, where we will spend some time on the cabinets. So look forward to that. See you soon.